This video is going to show you how to make a poster in PowerPoint to meet the requirements for the animal science internship presentation. The first thing you will need is a title. Next, you will need an introduction that includes your name, the internship position, as well as the company name. Next, you will need to identify the employer, their business, and the history of the business. The fourth thing you will need to provide is your job description. You'll want to describe skills you needed and skills you gained while you were there. The fifth thing you'll need is to describe your expectations and what you actually learned. You'll want to include communication between you and your boss, as well as situations that challenged you. Next, you want to describe the benefits of your internship and how it has affected your career goals, whether it be positive or negative. And lastly, you'll want to include pictures from your internship. Once you're in PowerPoint, you're going to want to go to the Design tab, hit Page Setup, and change the size to 35 by 35 as the requirements state. You'll want to hit Scale so the pictures and everything are even. Next, you want to format the background. You want to pick a background that is light so everything stands out on top of it. After you pick your background color, you're going to want to make sure that you can see the rulers and guides to make sure that everything is lined up. You're also going to want to make sure that the snap to grid is on as well. After that, it's time to insert text and pictures. It works best to use a shape as the text box background. We'll make one here for the title, and then we'll move it to the center. And then we'll add other boxes to include text in. We'll make 3 even boxes in the middle. And you can see that once you make all 3, you can line them up evenly. I always copy and paste it just so I know they're all the exact same size. And the little lines show up to tell you that they're in line, so that's super helpful. Make them a little longer here so we can write more. And again, you can darken or lighten the color of the shapes just so you can see the text better. You can also change the color of the text. I like to keep the text either black or white, a neutral color, so it's easy to read. And again, make the text box is either lighter or darker so the text sticks out and is easy to read on them. We'll make this bigger here, center the title. And the snap to grid really helps with centering everything as well. In each of these boxes, we'll talk about different things. You can talk about the background of the business in the first box, and the next box we'll talk about the skills learned and the skills needed, and in the last box you can talk about what you gained from the internship. And again, I'm not going to type out paragraphs here, but these are things that you would include in these boxes. We'll show examples at the end. And then lastly, you have to include pictures. I always like to have 2 or 3 depending on, at least 2 or 3. If you have more, that's great. Just make sure that they're not super tiny so that they're easy to see. I'm just going to use this one of a horse because my internships were in the equine industry. And you want to make sure that they fit in your presentation and that it still looks sharp and concise so it doesn't look like you just randomly threw a bunch of pictures on there. So if we just put 2 at the bottom here, line them up with each other, make sure they're evenly spaced from the borders and from the text box. Obviously, you're not actually going to use 2 of the same picture. I'm just doing this for the demonstration here. And that's how you make a poster in PowerPoint. Here's an example.